Tom sat in the corner of the supply ship's small control room, checking a panel of blinking lights. The ship was old, and he was used to fixing things that other people had given up on. He was a space mechanic, not an explorer, not a soldier. All he wanted was a quiet trip to deliver cargo to the research team on a nearby station. But things had not gone as planned. The crew had picked up a strange signal 2 days ago. It was not from the station. The signal came from a planet that was not on any star map. It pulsed like a heartbeat, steady and strong. Captain Miles, a careful man who rarely took risks, had decided they should investigate. Tom thought it was a bad idea, but he kept quiet. Mechanics did not get to decide where the ship went. As the ship descended through the planet's atmosphere, Tom saw the surface for the first time. The land was covered in silver trees with wide leaves that shimmered under the sun. Rivers cut through valleys like threads of glass. In the middle of it all stood a massive structure, tall spires of stone and metal, shining as if they had been polished that very morning. It was a palace, unlike anything Tom had ever seen. The ship landed in a wide open field near the palace gates. Dozens of tall alien guards stood there, their armor reflecting the sunlight. Each held a long spear with a glowing tip. Tom expected them to block the way or demand to know why the humans were there. But instead, they stepped aside as if they had been waiting for them. Captain Miles led the small team forward. Tom followed behind, carrying a scanner and a small repair kit. He told himself he was only here in case some of their gear broke down. Still, his heart beat faster with each step. The gates opened without a sound. Inside was a vast hall lined with banners of deep blue and gold. Strange symbols were painted on the walls, and glowing crystals lit the space from above. The air smelled faintly of flowers. At the far end of the hall stood a tall throne, and on it sat the alien queen. She was unlike anything Tom had imagined. Her skin was pale silver, her eyes large and dark, with faint rings of gold inside. A crown of crystal rested on her head, and her robes shimmered with a soft light. The moment she saw the humans, her gaze went straight to Tom. He froze. She did not look at the captain, the officers, or anyone else, only him. Her eyes widened slightly, and she stood from the throne. The guards around the hall tensed, but she raised one hand, and they stopped moving, slowly, with a grace that made the air feel heavy. The queen walked down the steps. Tom wanted to look away, but something in her eyes held him still. She stopped only a few steps away from him. Then, to the shock of every human in the hall, she lowered herself onto one knee. The sound of her armor and robes brushing the stone floor echoed in the quiet hall. The guards lowered their heads. The humans exchanged confused glances. Tom's mouth went dry. The queen spoke, her voice soft but carrying across the room. It was in a language Tom did not know. The translator device on Captain Miles's wrist crackled, struggling to keep up. Fragments came through. Returner, protector, chosen line. Captain Miles stepped forward, trying to speak to her, but the queen's gaze never left Tom. It was as if the captain was invisible. Tom raised a hand, unsure of what to do. "I think there's been some mistake," Tom said carefully, though he knew the translator might not work well. "I've never been here before." The queen tilted her head slightly, as if considering his words. She spoke again, slower this time. The translator managed to catch more. "Home blood. He has returned." The tension in the room grew heavier. The alien advisors standing near the throne whispered to each other, glancing at Tom as if he were something both impossible and dangerous. The queen remained kneeling until Tom gave a small, uncertain nod. Only then did she rise to her full height. Her eyes still carried that strange mix of recognition and relief. Tom's mind raced. Why was she looking at him like that? Why had she knelt? He was just a mechanic from a small Earth colony. He had no royal blood, no power, no reason to be noticed by anyone, much less an alien ruler. The queen turned to her guards and spoke quickly in her language. 2 guards stepped forward and gestured for Tom to follow. Captain Miles started to protest, but the queen raised her hand again, silencing him without a word. She spoke once more, and the translator finally gave a full sentence. the protectors. Heir has come. He must be shown the truth. Tom felt the weight of every alien gaze on him. The guards waited patiently, but their presence was firm. He had no choice but to follow. As they led him toward a side door, Tom glanced back at the captain, who could only shrug helplessly. The hall faded behind him as they walked down long corridors lit by the same glowing crystals. The air was cooler here, and the walls were lined with carvings of battles, strange machines, and humans. Tom stopped for a moment, staring at one of the carvings. It showed a tall human man standing beside the alien queen's throne, holding a glowing staff. It was impossible, but the man's face looked like an older version of Tom's. He felt a chill run down his spine before he could ask any questions. The guards opened another door. Inside was a small room filled with artifacts, blades, armor, scrolls, and strange devices that hummed with quiet energy. In the center of the room was a pedestal. On it rested a crown-like object made of crystal and metal. The queen entered the room from another door. She approached the pedestal and gestured toward the object. This, she said, with the translator keeping up perfectly this time, belongs to you. Tom could only stare. He had no idea what was happening, but deep down, a part of him felt that his life had just changed forever. Tom stood frozen, staring at the crown-like object on the pedestal. It was beautiful yet strange, made from a metal that seemed alive, glowing faintly from within. Its sharp, curved shapes looked ancient, yet the smooth edges suggested careful craftsmanship beyond anything he had seen on Earth. The alien queen stood beside him, her calm gaze fixed on his face. Her voice was steady when she spoke. This crown has been waiting for you. It has been kept here for many generations, only to be touched by the one it recognizes. Tom shook his head slowly. I think you've got the wrong person. I'm just a mechanic. I fix broken wires and old engines. I don't know anything about crowns or prophecy. Her expression did not change. She stepped closer to the pedestal and gestured toward it. If you truly believe you are no one, then place your hand on it, and it will remain cold and silent. But if you are the one we have been waiting for, it will answer you. Tom glanced toward the two alien guards in the room. They stood as still as statues, but he could feel their eyes on him. He turned back to the crown, his heart beating hard. Fine, he muttered to himself. Let's prove them wrong. He reached out and placed his fingers on the crown. The moment he touched it, warmth spread through his hand, running up his arm and into his chest. A soft hum filled the room. The glow inside the metal grew brighter until it bathed the walls. In golden light, Tom gasped and pulled his hand back, but the light did not fade. It pulsed like a heartbeat. The queen's eyes shone with something between relief and pride. It is true, she said softly. You are the heir of the protector. Tom stepped back, shaking his head. No, I don't even know who that is. I've never been here. I don't know your people. I don't know your history. The queen walked toward a carved panel in the wall and pressed her hand against it. With a faint click, the panel slid open, revealing a narrow staircase leading downward. She motioned for Tom to follow. Then it is time you learned. The staircase led to a round chamber deep beneath the palace. The walls were covered with large murals painted in vivid colors. Each scene told a story. The first mural showed a fleet of alien ships in flames, surrounded by strange war machines. The second showed an army of alien warriors kneeling before a tall human man with dark hair and determined eyes. In the third mural, the same man stood beside an alien queen, holding the glowing crown. Tom stopped at the fourth mural. It showed the human man boarding a large starship, the alien queen watching him leave with sadness in her eyes. Below the painting were alien symbols that glowed faintly in the dim light. The queen stepped beside him and touched the symbols. Our historians say this man came from the stars many centuries ago. His ship was damaged, and he could not return to his home. But he saved our world from destruction. We called him the Protector. He became a leader, a friend, and family. She turned her gaze to Tom. Before he left us, he promised he would return. But he said his return might not be as the same man. He said his bloodline would carry his spirit and one day, one of his descendants would find their way back here when we needed them most. Tom stared at the mural, his mind trying to process her words. You think that's me, that I'm related to him? The Queen's voice was calm but firm. We do not think. We know. The crown only answers to the blood of the protector. It has answered to you. Tom rubbed his forehead. Even if I believe you, why now? Why bring me here? I don't even know what you want from me. Before the Queen could answer, another figure entered the chamber. It was a tall alien male wearing long blue robes. His face was lined with age, and his eyes carried the weight of many years. He bowed slightly to the Queen before turning to Tom. This is Elder Varon, the Queen said. He is our historian and keeper of the ancient records. Varon's voice was deep and slow. Human from the stars, you must understand. Our world is in danger again. The same enemy that threatened us in the Protector's time has returned. Their ships have been seen at the edges of our system. Our defenses are not strong enough to face them alone. Tom took a step back. So you're saying you want me to fight for you? I'm not a soldier. Varon gave a faint smile. Neither was the Protector when he first came. But he learned, and he taught us. The people will follow you. As they followed him, they will believe in you. Because you are proof the prophecy is real. Tom glanced at the Queen. What if I refuse? The Queen's expression softened, but her tone was steady. Then we will respect your choice. But know this, our people will still believe you are the heir. They will still look to you for hope. And if you turn away, they will face the coming darkness without the one person they believe can save them. Tom felt a heavy knot form in his chest. He wanted to say no, to walk away, to get back on the supply ship and leave this planet behind. But the weight in the Queen's eyes and the quiet strength in Elder Varon's voice made it hard to speak the word. He looked again at the murals, at the image of the human man standing tall against impossible odds. The resemblance to himself was undeniable. Finally, Tom let out a slow breath. I don't know if I can be the person you think I am, but I'll hear more. I'll try to understand. The Queen nodded. That is all we ask for now. Varon stepped closer and handed Tom a small metallic tablet. Strange symbols glowed on its surface. These are the Protector's writings, Varon explained. They are in an old human code. We have never been able to read them fully. Perhaps you can. Tom took the tablet, feeling its cool surface. He did not know the language at a glance, but something about it felt familiar, like a puzzle he had seen before. The Queen placed a hand on his shoulder. Rest for now. Tomorrow, we will show you more, the truth of your past and the threat of our future. As Tom left the chamber with the guards, his thoughts were tangled. He still felt like the wrong person in the wrong place. But deep inside, a spark of curiosity had begun to grow. Maybe the answers were here. Maybe the truth was more connected to him than he wanted to believe. And maybe, just maybe, he was meant to be here after all. Tom woke up in a large guest chamber inside the alien palace. The walls were decorated with silver patterns that shimmered softly under the morning light. A low table in the corner held a bowl of strange blue fruit, and the air smelled faintly of flowers. He sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the metallic tablet Elder Varon had given him the night before. The symbols on the tablet still glowed faintly. They were not like any writing Tom had learned, yet something about them felt oddly familiar. It was like seeing an old tool in a new form, different, but still recognizable. Before he could think more about it, the door slid open. 2 alien guards entered, followed by Elder Varon. The historian's face was calm but serious. The Queen requests your presence in the Hall of the Crystal. Tom stood up slowly. Why? What's happening now? Varon gave a small smile. A test. The Queen wishes to be certain, beyond all doubt, that you are the heir of the Protector. Tom followed them through long corridors lined with glowing crystal torches. The palace was vast, and every hallway seemed to lead into another section filled with strange beauty gardens with floating flowers, pools of water that reflected moving patterns of light, and statues carved from translucent stone. Finally, they entered a wide chamber. At the center stood a raised platform made of black stone, and on it rested a large glowing sphere. Around the platform, 6 alien warriors in ornate armor stood guard. The queen was already there, waiting. When she saw Tom, she stepped forward. "This is the heart of the crown," she said. "It is the second piece of the protector's legacy. Only the true heir can awaken it. Many have tried over the centuries, but none have succeeded." Tom looked at the glowing sphere with suspicion. "What exactly does it do?" The queen's expression remained calm. "It will see into you. It will know your blood, your spirit, your strength. If you are not the one, it will remain cold and silent. If you are the one, it will show you the truth." Tom glanced at Elder Varon, who gave an encouraging nod. The guard stepped aside, leaving a clear path to the sphere. "All right," Tom muttered, taking a deep breath. "Let's get this over with." He stepped onto the platform and placed his hands on the sphere. At first, nothing happened. The surface felt smooth and cool. Then, warmth began to spread through his palms, just like with the crown. The glow inside the sphere grew brighter, and a low hum filled the chamber. Suddenly, images flashed in Tom's mind. He saw a tall human man in old-fashioned space armor, standing on a battlefield with alien soldiers behind him. The man's eyes were steady, his voice commanding as he gave orders. Tom felt the man's emotions: courage, determination, and a deep sense of responsibility. The vision shifted. Tom saw the man standing beside the alien queen from the murals, both looking at a burning sky. Then the man turned, looking directly at Tom. His voice echoed in Tom's mind. "If you are seeing this," the man said, "then my blood still flows in your veins. You carry more than my name, you carry my duty. Protect them, lead them. Do not turn away when they need you most." The vision faded, and Tom was back in the chamber. The sphere was glowing so brightly now that the whole room was bathed in golden light. The queen's eyes widened, and the guards lowered their heads. Elder Varon smiled for the first time. "It is true," Varon said softly. "The heart has recognized you." Tom stepped back, his hands shaking. "I don't understand. Why me? I didn't ask for this. I'm just a mechanic." The queen approached him slowly. The protector was not born a leader either. He was a traveler, a builder, a man who fixed what others thought was broken. That is why he was able to save us, because he saw solutions where others saw only problems. "You are like him." Tom rubbed his forehead. "Even if I believe you, what do you expect me to do now? I don't know how to fight a war." Varon stepped forward, holding the metallic tablet. "The protector left us more than tools and symbols. He left instruction, strategies, plans, and warnings. But they are in an old human code we have never fully understood. You may be able to read them." Tom looked at the tablet again. He noticed now that the symbols were arranged in a way that reminded him of old engineering schematics from Earth. Some of the patterns even looked like repair codes used for starship engines. "Only far more complex, I think," Tom said slowly. "I might be able to figure it out, but it'll take time." The queen nodded. "You will have that time. But know this: the enemy will not wait forever. Our scouts say their fleet is moving closer to our borders. When they arrive, we must be ready." Tom felt a weight settle on his shoulders. The visions had felt real to dismiss, but he still wasn't sure if he could become the man they expected him to be. Still, the idea of just walking away felt wrong. "I'll try," he said finally, "but I make no promises." The queen's expression softened. "Trying is the first step. The rest will come." As they left the chamber, Tom kept thinking about the man in the vision. The resemblance had been undeniable. But what stayed with him more was the feeling, the sense of connection. Like a bridge across centuries. Back in his guest chamber, Tom sat at the low table, the tablet glowing faintly in front of him. He took a deep breath and began tracing the first row of symbols with his finger. Slowly, patterns began to form in his mind. He didn't know it yet, but the code was about to reveal far more than battle plans. It was going to change how he saw himself, the queen's people, and the enemy waiting in the dark of space. For the first time since arriving on this planet, Tom felt not just confusion, but purpose. Tom sat in the quiet study chamber the queen had given him, a place filled with smooth stone tables and shelves of glowing scrolls. The metallic tablet lay in front of him, its symbols shining faintly. He had been working on decoding them for hours. At first, the shapes had made no sense, but little by little, they began to form patterns. The Protector had used an old human repair code as a base, then layered another code over it, something only a person familiar with both human engineering and problem-solving could crack. Every so often, Tom heard soft footsteps in the hall outside. Guards had been placed there since the test with the glowing sphere. The Queen insisted it was for his safety. Tom wasn't sure if it was protection or just a way to make sure he didn't run away. He was still focused on the tablet when the door opened. Elder Varon entered, carrying a crystal panel that flickered with shifting images. His expression was tense. "The Queen requests you in the war room," he said. Tom followed Varon through the palace until they reached a large circular chamber. In the center stood a table that projected a three-dimensional map of the star system. Dozens of alien officers stood around it. The Queen stood at the far side, her face calm but serious. When she saw Tom, she gestured for him to come closer. "Our scouts have returned," she said. "They have seen the enemy fleet." Tom looked at the holographic map. Several glowing red symbols marked the outer edge of the system. "That's them," Varon nodded. "The same enemy our Protector faced long ago. We call them the Krylon Dominion. They are ruthless. They take worlds and strip them of everything useful. Then they leave only ruins behind." Tom's stomach tightened. "How many ships are we talking about?" One of the alien officers tapped the projection, and the map zoomed in. Dozens of red shapes appeared. "Their main fleet has at least 30 warships," the officer said. "Our own defense fleet is 10. Tom frowned. "That's not a fair fight." The Queen's voice was steady. "It never was. That is why the Protector's plans are so important. He defeated them once with fewer ships than we have now. We must understand his strategy before they reach us." Tom thought of the tablet. "I've been working on it. I think I've started to crack the code. It's not just battle plans, it's instructions, but written like a puzzle." The Queen leaned forward slightly. "Can you finish it before the enemy arrives?" Tom hesitated. "I'll try, but I might need help." Varon nodded. "Then you shall have it. I will assign our best code readers to assist you." Tom returned to his chamber with 2 alien scribes, each carrying strange writing tools and glowing charts. Together, they worked late into the night. Tom explained how the Protector's symbols matched certain mechanical repair codes. The scribes, in turn, helped him match alien symbols from their own ancient records. Slowly, the message began to reveal itself. By morning, the first section was complete. Tom read it aloud. "Hide what you cannot fight. Strike where they cannot see. Use their strength against them." Varon listened carefully. "This is not just about ships. This is about deception." Tom nodded. The Protector must have known he couldn't win by meeting them head-on. He wanted to make them think they were winning, right before turning the battle around. That day, the Queen ordered her officers to begin preparing in secret. Cargo haulers were disguised as warships, while some of the real warships were hidden inside asteroid fields. Civilian transports were quietly moved to safe zones far from the enemy's expected path. As the preparations continued, Tom studied more of the code. Each section gave another piece of the plan: where to place hidden mines, how to lure enemy ships into narrow areas of space, and how to use planetary gravity wells to slingshot smaller ships for sudden attacks. Late one evening, as Tom worked alone, the door opened again. The Queen stepped inside, her expression softer than usual. "You have done much in little time," she said. Tom set the tablet down. "I'm still not sure if it will be enough. They have more ships, more weapons, but they do not have you," she interrupted. "The Protector's blood runs in you, but so does his mind. You think as he thought." Tom gave a small, uneasy laugh. "I hope that's enough." The Queen's eyes held a calm determination. "It will be. But there is one more thing you must see." She led him through a part of the palace he had not visited before. At the end of a long hallway was a sealed chamber guarded by 2 warriors. They stepped aside, and the Queen placed her hand on a panel. The door slid open, revealing a large hangar. Inside stood a sleek starship unlike any Tom had ever seen. Its hull was a smooth silver, with markings that looked both human and alien. The Queen's voice was quiet. This was the Protector's ship. He left it to us. But we have never flown it. It will only respond to one of his bloodline. Tom stared at the ship. Something about it felt right, as if it had been waiting for him. You think I should use this? The Queen nodded. When the time comes, yes. It may be the key to turning the tide. Tom stepped closer, running, his hand along the smooth surface of the hull. It felt warm under his touch, just like the crown and the sphere had. For the first time since arriving, he felt a spark of confidence. But as they left the hangar, Varon was waiting with urgent news. The scouts have returned again, he said. The enemy fleet has crossed into our system. They will be here within days. The Queen's expression did not change, but her voice was firm. Then we will be ready. Tom's mind raced. Days. That was all the time he had to finish decoding the Protector's plan and put it into action. If he failed, this world would fall. That night, as he sat with the glowing tablet, Tom felt the pressure of time pressing against him. But he also felt something else, the same steady determination he had seen in the man from his vision. Whatever happened, he would not walk away. The next day, Ein woke up inside the alien palace, still trying to understand why the alien queen treated him with such respect. The silver walls of his room reflected the soft glow of blue crystals that hung from the ceiling. Everything around him was beautiful, but his mind was full of questions. He stepped outside into a wide hallway where two alien guards stood waiting. They bowed slightly when they saw him. Ein felt strange. He had never been respected like this before, especially by beings from another world. One of the guards, tall and dressed in gold armor, spoke in a calm voice. The Queen wishes to speak with you in the Garden of Stars. Ein nodded. He followed the guards through winding corridors until they entered a massive open garden. Under a transparent dome, above them, space stretched endlessly with bright stars and glowing planets. Strange flowers grew all around, their petals shining like tiny lamps. In the center stood the alien queen, her long silver robe flowing like liquid light. When she saw Ein, she lowered her head again. I am honored. You accepted my invitation, she said in a voice that was both strong and gentle. Ein tried to smile. I still don't understand. Why are you treating me like this? I'm just a human. The Queen looked at him with deep golden eyes. You are not just a human. You are a bearer of the ancient mark. Ein frowned. Ancient mark. I don't have any mark. The Queen gestured for him to hold out his hand. She lightly touched his wrist. And suddenly, a faint glowing symbol appeared on his skin. It was a circle with 3 lines crossing through it. Ein stared in shock. I've never seen this before. It has been hidden from your eyes until the right time. The Queen explained. This mark belongs to the first traveler, a human who came to our world thousands of years ago. He saved my people from destruction. We have waited for his return, and you carry his spirit. Ein could barely believe what he was hearing. You think I'm some kind of chosen person. It is not belief, the Queen said firmly. It is truth. The mark is proof. Ein sat down on a bench in the garden, trying to process everything. So, what does this mean? What do you want from me? The Queen walked closer. There's a great danger coming. A darkness from beyond the stars is moving toward our galaxy. Only the bearer of the mark can unite the scattered worlds to stand against it. Without you, all will fall. Ein felt a wave of pressure on his shoulders. I don't know anything about uniting worlds. I'm just me. You will learn, the Queen said, her tone softening. I will guide you. My people will protect you. But you must accept your role. Ein looked up at the sky through the dome. The stars seemed endless, yet he could feel that somewhere out there, something dangerous was moving closer. If what you're saying is true, he said quietly, I can't walk away, but I'll need help. The Queen smiled for the first time, and it was warm and genuine. Then we begin today. She raised her hand, and a small hovering orb floated toward Ein. It glowed with a gentle light. This is the star map. It will guide you to the worlds you must visit Each world will give you a piece of the key of unity. Only with the full key can we call upon the ancient shield to protect the galaxy. Ian reached out and took the orb. It felt warm, almost alive. Where do I start? The first world is Volter, the queen replied. A place of mountains and storms. The people there are proud and strong, but they trust no outsiders. You must earn their loyalty. Ian nodded slowly. All right, I'll go. The queen placed her hand over his. Remember, you are not alone. My people will watch over you. But the path is yours to walk. As Ian left the garden, the guards fell in step behind him. He felt nervous, but also a strange excitement. The thought that he might be part of something greater than himself made his heart race. That night, as he rested in his chamber, he held the star map in his hands. The orb projected a glowing path through the stars, leading to a stormy world. Far away, Ian knew that when morning came, his journey to Volter would begin. But deep in the shadows beyond the galaxy, a dark shape moved closer, its eyes burning like fire. It had felt the awakening of the ancient mark, and it was coming. The hall of the alien palace was silent after Arn's words. The alien queen, Soraya, stood still. Her eyes fixed on him. The golden light from the high crystal ceiling fell on them both. Round them, her guards kept their heads low, unsure. If they should speak, Aaron felt a strange weight in the air, as if the whole room was waiting for something. I told you, Aaron said again, I'm just a human. I am not who you think I am. The queen slowly walked down the steps of her throne. Each step echoed in the wide hall. She stopped right in front of him, her tall figure towering over him. You do not understand, Aaron. She said softly, your presence here is not by chance. My people have waited for the one who would come from the distant blue star. The one who carries the light inside. Aaron shook his head. I don't have any light. I'm only here because my ship crashed. The queen turned to her guards. Leave us, she ordered. The guards hesitated but obeyed, stepping back and leaving the hall. Now there were only the two of them. Why did you kneel when you first saw me? Aaron asked. Her voice was calm, but her eyes held something deeper. Because the moment I saw you, I knew you were the same as the figure in the old visions. The visions spoke of a man who would come to unite the worlds, to stop the Dark One. Aaron frowned. The Dark One. She nodded. A force that grows in the far reaches of space. It eats stars, destroys planets, and enslaves minds. It is already moving toward our galaxy. My people believe only the one from the blue star can stop it. Aaron could not find any words. The idea of a being that could eat stars sounded impossible. Yet, he remembered the strange dreams he had after the crash. In those dreams, he saw a shadow moving across space, swallowing light. You think I can stop this thing? Aaron asked. Slowly. I do not think, she replied. I know. Aaron took a step back. I'm no hero. I can't fight some cosmic monster. I don't even know how to get back to my ship. You will not fight it alone, the queen said. You will have me, and you will have the Starblades. Starblades? They are my most trusted warriors. Each one can fight 100. Enemies alone. Together, they are unstoppable. But even they cannot face the Dark One without the light bearer. Aaron tried to think of an answer, but before he could speak, the great doors of the hall burst open. A tall alien warrior rushed in, his armor scratched and his breathing heavy. My queen. The warrior said, kneeling. It has begun. The Dark One's servants have entered the outer systems. The queen's face grew grave. How many? Thousands, maybe more. They move fast. We have little time. She turned to Aaron. Now you see. The moment is here. Whether you believe it or not, you are part of this. Aaron felt his heart beat faster. He looked at the queen, then at the warrior, then back at the queen. If I agree to help, what do I have to do? Her eyes softened. First, you must come with me to the temple of the first light. It is far to the north, beyond the crystal seas. There, you will see the truth for yourself. Aaron thought for a long moment. He wanted to say no, to walk away, but deep inside, something told him that running would change nothing. The Dark One would come for everyone, sooner or later. All right, he said finally. I'll go with you. The queen gave a small smile, almost hidden. Then we leave at once. The warrior stood. I will prepare the sky sail. Moments later, Aaron found himself standing on a high balcony. Before him was a strange flying craft shaped like a silver crescent. The air around it shimmered. With energy, the queen stepped into it first, then motioned for Aaron to follow. The sky sail lifted without a sound, rising above the shining city. Below them, tall towers glowed with blue light. Bridges of crystal stretched across the air. The people looked up as the craft passed, some pointing, others bowing. Aaron sat across from the queen, his hands gripping the seat. They keep bowing at me. Why? They know, she said simply. The journey was long. They crossed mountains made of glass, valleys where rivers of light flowed, and fields where giant floating orbs moved like clouds. Aaron could not help but stare at the strange beauty of this world. At last, the crystal seas came into view. They stretched endlessly, their surface shining like polished mirrors. Above them, strange winged creatures soared in the sky. The sky sail descended onto a small island in the middle of the sea. There, at the center of the island, stood the temple of the first light. It was made of white stone, and its tallest spire reached into the clouds. They stepped out of the sky sail, and the queen led him inside. The air was cool and filled with a soft humming sound. The walls were covered with carvings of stars, ships, and strange figures. At the heart of the temple, a great crystal floated in the air, glowing with warm golden light. Aaron felt something the moment he saw it. His chest grew warm, and the same strange dreams from before returned to his mind. This is it, the queen said. The light of the first star. Touch it. Aaron hesitated. What will happen? You will remember. He stepped forward slowly. His fingers brushed the surface of the crystal, and in an instant, his mind was filled with images: ships burning, planets falling, and the dark shadows spreading across space. But then, he saw himself, holding a blade of pure light, leading armies of many worlds. The vision ended, and Aaron stumbled back. The queen caught his arm. Do you understand now? Aaron looked at her, breathing heavily. I don't know how, but I think you're right. I've seen this before, in my dreams. Then it is time, she said. The Dark One will not wait. Aaron stared at the crystal one last time, somewhere deep inside. He knew his life would never be the same again. The vast chamber of the alien palace was filled with quiet energy. The queen stood before Aaron, her eyes calm yet deep with meaning. Round them, tall alien guards kept their distance, their long spears resting gently on the floor. The walls glowed with soft blue light, as if the room itself was alive and watching. Aaron felt the weight of the moment. He had traveled across light years, seen worlds that humans had never dreamed of, and faced dangers that could have ended him many times. But now, here, standing before the queen, he felt something different, something almost heavier than fear. The queen spoke in a clear, melodic voice. You are the one from the ancient vision, the one our ancestors spoke of. We have waited for you for many lifetimes. Aaron hesitated. I'm just a human. I'm no hero, no chosen one. I don't understand why you believe this. Her gaze softened. It is not belief, it is truth. The symbols on the walls of our oldest temple match the mark on your wrist. That mark is older than my people. It was placed there for a purpose. Aaron instinctively touched his wrist. The strange glowing mark had appeared weeks ago, back on Earth after a strange meteorite crash. He had never known what it meant until now. The queen stepped closer. The mark is the key to the great link, a bridge between your kind and mine. Without it, our worlds would remain apart forever. With it, they can stand together. A deep rumble echoed through the palace. One of the guards rushed forward. My queen. The war fleet of the Drask Empire has entered our orbit. Aaron tensed. He remembered the name. The Drask were the enemies the queen had spoken of earlier, the ones who sought to conquer and destroy entire civilizations. The queen turned to Aaron. The choice is now. If you use the mark, you will connect to the Great Link. You will share thoughts and strength with every warrior in my army. But once it is done, you will never be the same. The link changes those who join it. Aaron's mind raced. He thought of Earth, his friends, and the people he had met on this planet. He couldn't walk away knowing both worlds could fall. "I'll do it," Aaron said firmly. The queen nodded and raised her hand. The floor shifted, revealing a circular platform with ancient symbols. Light began to rise from it, swirling like a river of stars. "Step forward," she said. Aaron walked onto the platform. The moment his foot touched the center, the mark-on, his wrists began to burn, not painfully, but with a strong, pulsing heat. The lights rose higher. Surrounding him, he saw flashes in his mind, memories not his own. Alien battles. Worlds he had never visited. Faces of warriors standing strong in the face of impossible odds. He felt something connect deep within him, as if his mind had found 1,000 voices speaking at once. They were not chaotic. They were united. The queen's voice echoed in his head. "Now, you are with us, and we are with you." The palace shook violently. A blast from the Drast fleet had struck the outer shields. The alien guards ran to prepare for battle. Aaron opened his eyes. He no longer felt like just one man. Strength surged through him. He could feel where every soldier stood. He knew their courage, their fears, their determination. He stepped down from the platform and faced the queen. "Let's end this." The next hours were unlike anything Aaron had experienced. The battle raged above the planet, in orbit where massive alien ships clashed. But Aaron, connected through the Great Link, was everywhere at once. He guided squadrons, warned soldiers of incoming attacks, and gave courage to those who wavered. The Drast fleet fought fiercely, but they were unprepared for the unity and precision of the Queen's forces. With Aaron's help, the alien fleet outmaneuvered them, striking at their weak points and cutting off their escape at last. The Drast flagship was disabled, and the remaining enemy ships fled into deep space. When the battle ended, the people gathered in the great city below. They celebrated not only the victory, but the new bond between humans and the Queen's people. In the palace, the Queen approached Aaron once more. "Today, you have done more than save a world. You have joined to. From this day forward, our people will not stand apart." Aaron smiled. "I didn't do it alone. We all fought together." She inclined her head, the same gesture she had given when they first met. But now Aaron understood. It was not just respect. It was recognition of a bond that could never be broken. Looking out over the alien city, with the stars above, Aaron realized that his life had changed forever. He was no longer just a visitor among the stars. He was part of them now, and they were part of him, and somewhere far beyond the edge of sight. He knew the Drast would return one day, but when they did, humanity and the Queen's people would be ready together.